Hi there, welcome to Stellar Wyckoff Technical Analysis session. If you're new to my sessions, here are the key takeaways you can expect. I'll cover the Wyckoff stages, the current and the expected coming stages in both the weekly and daily time frames. Also, any key price levels that Stellar will find support or resistance, plus any breakout timing that the charts are telling us. So let's start with the weekly. Here we're seeing for 3 consecutive weeks, basically Stellar has been suppressed by this green key level of around 33 cents. Remember, a key level isn't a single price point. Okay, it's got a range. Even though it may not be a broad range, it's still like, don't take the number as it is. But for 3 consecutive weeks, the first week closed lower, the second week tried to climb above but being rejected. Now we're in the third week and it got even lower. There's still 5 days, so it's still early to tell, too early to tell whether we can close higher. As for Wyckoff, previously we said there is a higher chance for the price to come down for a sign of weakness at a level similar to what we have in April and June. So the current stage we're going through is already at a sign of weakness level, but it's at a level that's close to the automatic reaction back in December last year, as well as the sign of weakness in February this year. So we're going through the similar stage like what we have gone through in February. So if I draw a line across here, you see where the candle like closes, or like their tails, almost exactly at the same price as what we had back in February. Alright, so it's trying to climb up, but that's what happened back in February. You see the climb over there, right? And then immediately it dropped to the lower level of sign of weaknesses. So that's the bigger picture. Alright, so whether it will repeat itself, soon we'll find out. It only took 5 weeks before that happened. We are 3 weeks in already, so time is getting near. And this was what happened on the October 10th, was almost like a early signal telling us like this may be happening. Anyway, currently the price is still within this blue box, a downward channel. And if it doesn't break above the ceiling of this channel, it is still going to head towards this direction, towards the yellow key level of 24 cents 50. Alright, so just quickly check the Bollinger Band counter squeeze before we move on to the daily and check any breakout timing that's near. Currently, there's no squeeze going on for Stellar in the weekly time frame. The previous 2 times, you see the shade, this large patch of shade at the back. After the squeeze, the price swing very violently. Be careful, a squeeze can happen for a prolonged period of time before a swing happens. And after a squeeze, a swing may go up first, or it can go down first. So if you're new to this indicator, don't think by looking at the nearest time you can see on the chart and think, oh, after the squeeze it must go up. It's not that case. Scroll and shrink your chart and look at the times where the chart, like the prices went down after the squeeze. Okay, don't get confused and misuse the indicator. Alright, so let's get to the daily chart. And previously we got a squeeze, but now we are getting close to another squeeze because the purple line on the top has gotten into the orange, and the bottom edge is getting closer and closer to the orange as well. So in the next day or two, tomorrow or the day after, this will get into the squeeze if the price continues to trade within this kind of range. Alright, so be cautious what's going to come after the squeeze, because it may be another swing, but this time, because it's near the center line of this downward channel, so it can go either way, and it's still within the downward channel. So the Wyckoff stage in the daily, let's focus on the red tags first, because the purple is a check to my own thinking. So supposedly these are some last point of supplies that we are going through, and we talk about the sign of weaknesses. There are multiples, so I'm going to just put one because otherwise the chart will become too busy. And the next stage we're expecting would be the preliminary support, meaning the chances for it to come down for an accumulation cycle similar to what we had back in March all the way to July, it's higher than the chance of it going up to retest the blue key level of 47 cents 50 to show us a second test or an up thrust. So given this more likely scenario, when we look at the chart, I can see another possibility. So previously I put in these purple tags, asking, we always have to check whether we are looking at the chart and tagging it the right way, because things can happen that it is not going to the same level as before to begin an accumulation or finish a distribution. What I mean is, for the current activity that's going on, or even here, that may be an accumulation cycle at a higher level, not the same one as we had half a year ago. Much like what we have here, the buying climax is way lower than the one we had in November 2024. Alright, so that's why we always have to ask ourselves, is that happening at a higher level, or is the peak finishing at a lower level? Instead of thinking, oh, it should go to the same level as the previous cycle. That's not the case, okay? Like this one over here, this accumulation happened like halfway higher. Like if we come from the bottom to the peak, it happened halfway instead of going back to the original level. Alright, so that's why we always have to check. And now, having said that, and looking at the chart itself, I would say I am going to move it and just not going to delete them, because I'm still seeing that possibility. So instead of a sign of weakness, these may be some second tests. The October 10th event may be the selling climax. You can call that just a test for the subsequent ones, not the one immediately after the test. And this little bulge over there could be an automatic rally. And arguably, this may or may not be a sign of strength. I want to see it to at least touch the white line to consider that a sign of strength. So right now, it may still be just the early stage of accumulation, if that really is starting at a level higher than March to July. Okay, it's close enough because the sign of strength was actually touching the green key level of 33 cents, and the price currently is already below that particular level. So it is possible that an accumulation has started. So that's the full picture I want to share with you in terms of what I see in Stellar's chart. So just to quickly recap, still within the downward channel. That's why the chance of going towards the south is higher than to the north. And just to make sure we don't miss if there are any breakout timing the charts are indicating to us, not that any of these key lines, the channel boundaries, when they crosses these key levels, is still far, like near the end of the year or even beginning of next year. So at where the price is currently, these key indications aren't like near term happening, but for the price actions that happened over the past 2 to 3 weeks. Let's try to draw some lines. So previously we've got this. And the breakout already happened. Okay? So that was supposed to be the wedge. Okay, that points towards just yesterday. So before yesterday, it should go outside of this wedge. So it did. But then for us, it doesn't really indicate something huge because we know it's going to bounce within or travel within this downtrend. So it's all right to know that a breakout would happen, but then it's not going to break any or change any major direction. So if we adjust the line now towards these new wicks that we have, especially today, which got heavily suppressed or rejected from above the green key level, it is pointing, just to make sure, make them as tight as possible, it's pointing towards 3rd of November, meaning next Monday. So a breakout can happen in the next few days. So either it travels above the green key level, confirming it's going to break it, or it's going to come back down to at least where the white line is to find support. So it can travel sideways, but then if it really drops, this is the first, not the spring, I mean the white line, is the first line of support that it will find a more solid bounce. And if you're new to these channel boxes, one thing you would notice, or the use of these boxes, is that they are used to track the potential, where the potential bounces will be. Alright, like this and these over here and here. So 3 lines: the ceiling, the bottom, and the center line. So the price will always kind of reach those levels and then got their bounces. So that's why we have these channel boxes and their center line. And the center line doesn't always go halfway, not cutting the box into 50-50. It depends on how frequent the heads and tails of candlesticks within this range gathered. So the more frequent they are, that's where the line goes to. Alright, so that's for Stellar today, and I'm going to move to the next session. Thanks for joining me. See you over there.